There's a confirmed tornado now on the ground, folks. This just got really, really serious.
March 2020. Just as the city was bracing for the looming threat of the COVID-19 pandemic, Nashville, Tennessee was ambushed by a more immediate, unforgiving disaster. On the night of March 2nd, families went to bed as usual. But just hours later, they woke up mid-air in the grip of a tornado and crash-landed yards away from their homes. They suffered the pain in the darkness, and when morning came, they saw a warlike scene where their once lively neighborhood used to be. March 2nd, 2020. The people of Nashville woke up to a pleasant, sunny spring morning. Finally, a gentle surprise after the cloudy weather the day before and the rainy stretch of last month. Windows were rolled up or slid open, and people were busy preparing for the big day tomorrow. Super Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020. Tennessee's scheduled day to vote in the presidential primary. Tomorrow's gonna be an extra busy weekday. So many plan to wrap up their Mondays early, trying to invite sleepiness with a bit of news. Sitting on their couches, families turn the TV on to catch up on the evening headlines.
All right, could have a bumpy night for some folks ahead, Bree.
Really important to just have a way to get weather information. You know, we spent the last 3 weeks on and off with those nonsense mixes of rain and snow, and now we flip the calendar to March. Boom. We've got our first Storm 5 alert of severe weather season, and all modes are in play. Large hail, damaging straight-line winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour possible, and isolated tornadoes cannot be ruled out tonight. So you've got to have a way to wake you up if a warning is issued where you live.
Bumpy night ahead. Evening weather forecasts on March 2nd warned that it wasn't going to be a peaceful, quiet night for the people of Tennessee. But for the most part, the reporters' warnings were light. Only the kind of warnings you could sleep right through if you were tired enough. Remove loose items outside your door. Shut off the windows in your garage. Oh, and have a way to receive weather alerts before going to sleep. You know, just in case. The chance of hail was high. Winds could be strong and unpredictable. And maybe, just maybe, an isolated tornado or two could come by your door. But with the weather forecast ending with this statement,
So it is going to be a bumpy 8 to 10 hours, but once we get on the back side of it, there's no severe weather expected in the next 7 days. We just got to be safe and aware and just prepared for tonight.
really, how bad could the night possibly be? But, plot twist. The forecasts didn't come close to predicting what terror was about to unfold. At 12:40 a.m., March 3rd, 2020, a 911 dispatcher received a call.
Hello?
This is 911. Do you have an emergency?
Yes. We just got hit by a tornado.
1 minute later, another call came in.
I'm super trapped. I got hit. I don't know if I'm bleeding or anything. I need help now.
Amid the darkness, with visibility only lit by lightning strikes, there it was. A gigantic tornado making its way to the heart of Nashville. It had already been on the ground for several minutes, catching even experts off guard. Authorities quickly upgraded the alert from a tornado watch to a tornado warning. But those warned had only 5 to 10 minutes before the tornado struck. To make it worse, most were deep asleep and had little time to react. Some were lucky enough to make it to their basements in time. But unfortunately, many simply didn't have that chance. Families were trapped beneath the rubble of their homes. Emergency hotlines received endless calls from all over the city. Dozens of videos capturing the sheer size and violence of the tornado were uploaded overnight. The clips and news reports alone can give you a hint of how terrifying this tragedy was for everyone present. But how did it come to this? How did Tennessee's deadliest tornado in a decade arrive practically unseen? Here's how it all unfolded, in a way even the most seasoned professionals didn't see coming. On the night of March 2nd, 2020, Middle Tennessee had already been flagged at risk of severe weather. However, you could say that at this point, the atmosphere didn't have enough ingredients for a major tornado to form. Forecasters saw strong winds and plenty of moisture, which are essential factors for tornado development. But the atmosphere lacked one key ingredient: instability. Without that rising warm air, nothing severe could really take off. So a tornado watch was issued, which just means there's a chance for tornadoes to develop. But after sunset, the sky's conditions quietly shifted. A low-level jet pushed warm, humid air from the Gulf into the region, increasing the energy storms need to grow. With moisture, lift, instability, and wind shear all in place, the stage was set for nature's fury to develop. By midnight, several supercells had formed across Middle Tennessee. Near the Mississippi River, a powerful storm formed and raced across the state, spawning multiple tornadoes. Among them, one EF3 tornado with winds between 136 and 165 miles per hour carved a 60-mile path of destruction. Though everyone knew this tornado was nothing to be taken lightly, no one could know the true severity of its damage until the first light of dawn.
My house actually took a direct hit from a Category F3 tornado, with me inside it, standing on my feet.
The pictures and videos alone spoke of the million heartaches felt by the community. Entire neighborhoods were leveled to nothingness, making parts of the city resemble war zones. Germantown, which was supposed to be bustling with people and coffee shops by morning, had turned into a ghost town. Power lines were strewn across streets, leaving about 50,000 people without power. Churches, music venues, and historic homes, which are Nashville's cultural pride, were unrecognizable. Even Tennessee State Prison, which was miles outside the direct path, suffered severe structural damage.
It's just amazing. You've seen this neighborhood for the last 50, 60, 70 years. Nice homes, solid homes, and now you look and there's nothing but rubble. And I'm trying to figure out what we do, because all I can do is help people get mementos or precious things out of the rubble, and then just try to help them recover. I've seen a lot of people that they just don't know what to do.
And unfortunately, Nashville wasn't the only place affected that night. One of the storm's sibling twisters, a more powerful EF4 tornado, also hit Cookeville and Putnam County, causing heartbreaking damage. But the most devastating impact of these two tornadoes wasn't just the collapsed homes, shattered landmarks, or the $1.6 billion in damages they left behind. For the local community and the rest of the world, it was the increasing count of the death toll and the race against time to find survivors trapped beneath miles of rubble. Those fortunate enough to survive were left with serious injuries and lasting trauma. One survivor recalled being lifted from their home and landing as far as 15 yards down the street. Tragically, entire families, including toddlers, were buried beneath their homes. At the very least, relatives who heard the news found some comfort in knowing that the family stayed together until the very end. In total, the March 3rd tornadoes in Tennessee took 25 lives and injured over 300 people. Most of the deaths were from the powerful E4 tornado in Cookeville, and about 2/3 of those injured were hit by the EF3 that struck Nashville. Among the damages in East Nashville, Basement East, a popular music venue, was mostly devastated. But miraculously, the "I Believe in Nashville" graffiti on the walls stayed totally untouched. For many, it was a symbol of hope and truly reflected the city's spirit. Because even in the darkest hours, humanity's kindness never failed to prevail. Hundreds of volunteers joined the search for survivors beneath the rubble and helped clean up debris after the storm. Foundations, sports centers, and other local groups provided financial aid to the victims. An Airbnb teamed up with the Red Cross to offer temporary housing for those displaced. The music community, which thrives in Nashville, also stepped up, with musicians like Brittany Howard encouraging people around the world to donate to the victims. Though this time, not for drinks, coffee, or shopping. People gathered in Germantown, banding together to clear the streets, hand out blankets, and provide food to those affected. Tornadoes as strong as the one that hit Nashville on March 3rd, 2020, will happen again. There's no stopping them. However, as long as we learn from past mistakes and never underestimate nature, we'll be able to survive. Up next,